During this trip, whenever we interact with friends, they normally raise this question as to how to apply spirituality in daily life. When we do bhajan, when we do Ramnam, when we go to temple, when we meet saints, we get some inexplicable joy, pleasant feeling in us. But as soon as the program is over, we are back to square one. We are watching ourselves whether there is any visible change, palpable change in our attitude. We have devotion in our heart. But at the same time, we are not very clear how this devotion to the Lord, devotion to the Guru, devotion to the ideal, that can be translated into our very life. The answer could be, there could be so many answers. One of the answers that struck to us is, unless and until we have some clarity on the word spirituality, it will be difficult for us to translate it. It is not to be confined within whatever we have said now, bhajan, Ramnam. No doubt, they are the pointers, they are the reminding factors, no doubt about it. But what does it remind? What does it connect us to? Spirituality, that you can put it in one single word, expansion. The spirit in us is the spirit everywhere. Spirit means you can switch off. Spirit means that which makes us to feel. Now we are sitting, no? That which makes us to see, to hear, to think, to feel the beingness. Nobody need to tell us who we are. The beingness is there, no? This is purely a subjective subject. Where, because it is a subjective subject, it cannot be objectified. The spirit cannot be objectified. So our total attention, focused attention, concentration is necessary. Everyone can feel. Now you are seeing, no? What is the power behind this seeing? What is the power behind this hearing? What is the power behind thinking, tasting, touching, smelling? The power behind this breathing, the power behind the heartbeat, the power behind the digestion, the power behind the blood circulation, the power behind the hair growing. We have to analyze it. This is called the spirit, which is common in everybody, this factor. Anything connected with the spirit is called spiritual. That means, at the moment we are all islands. Sense of separation is there because of the body, mind, intellect and sense of individuality. We are unable to identify the common factor in everybody. Whereas the common factor is the spirit. So we do bhajan, Ramnam. Papa used to say, Nama is the link between us and him, the spirit. Suppose we start thinking when we did bhajan, no? The sound comes from within. The melody comes from within. It helps us to draw our entire attention to that particular sound, melody, that raga, and also to the lyrics. Hey Jagadada, Vishwavidada. We are only the great provider, no? Ye Sukha Shanti Niketan hai. Pranasakha Tribhuvana Pariparaga. So when we also try to go through the lyrics, the Sahitya behind it. The composer was inspired by God to bring out his feelings, and that is why the raga, the lyrics, and also the accompaniment, everything touches our heart. We forget about it. Suppose we try to think that when we say Vinayaka, Ganesha is within us. He is the spirit. We call it in different names. Krishna is there, different. In different name, that's all. Same spirit. In order to remind us of the common factor that is in all of us, all these things have been prescribed and suggested to us by our elders. So that we are constantly reminded of the spirit. And the spirit is there in everybody and in everything. There is a poem by Papa. I find my God in fields, in hills and dales, in workshop, in school, office, marketplace, in plains and forests, in the grazing herd of cows, in home, hospital, and in power plants, in huts and palaces, in halls of assemblies, in temples, churches, and mosques, in solitude and caves, in graveyards, cremation grounds. I see him in the sky above, the earth below, in the waters of the lakes and oceans vast, in the slow and swift running streams, in trains, in cars, in aeroplanes, as well in gentle moving bullock carts. I behold him, awake, asleep, dreaming, in birth, in life, in death. I find him at all times and in all places, in all states. In all states means waking, dream, and deep sleep. My God is everywhere and everything. He alone is, there is none but He. Think. When you step into and drive the car, Papa wants us to identify. This car was a concept in the first man, whom he selected, automobile. No? And he gave that intelligence, he gave the motivation, he made available all the raw material, and out of the labor of love of him and a team of people, which also was motivated by him, it came in the form of an automobile, which you and I are using it now. Like that we have to stretch. So there is no place where He is not, the Spirit is not. Once again we will go through that. I find my God in fields, hills and dales, in workshop, school, office, marketplace, in plains and forests, in the grazing herd of cows, in home, hospital, power plants, in huts and palaces, in halls of assemblies, in temples, churches and mosques, in solitude and caves, in graveyards and cremation grounds. I see him in the sky above, the earth below, in the waters of the lakes and oceans vast, in the slow and swift running streams, in trains, in cars, in aeroplanes, as well in gentle moving bullock carts. I behold him awake, asleep, dreaming, in birth, in life, in death. I find him at all times and in all states. My God is everywhere and everything. He alone is. There is none but He. So when we hear such a revelation by a God realized saint, to us that is the seed for our or food for thought. We try to develop. We don't just hear and go. It covers almost all that which every day right from the morning till evening we come across. You can add every creature comfort. So when we started with this, how to translate, So when we handle this, we try to bring in, I find my God. So when the mic is there, when the blanket, carpet is there, when the table is there, when the flask is there, everywhere, everything. So it is difficult, we forget, agreed. We have been so far identifying it as a mic only, as a TV only, as a chair only, as a laptop or tablet only, as a tabla only. But now we are putting our effort to find. When there is no tabla, he gave a concept to somebody. When there is no language, today we are sharing with you through English language, That language was not there. And so he made somebody to think about it. So whatever we handle, whatever we do, we try to bring in some dimension by which, we get connected to the spirit. He has amplified it. Previously, we were using this word religion. You might be knowing that religion means to bind back. Bind back. Bind back to our original source. Unfortunately, now it got corrupted because we started interpreting religion as Hindu, Muslim, Christian, this, that, But so Papa refers to that original religion. So he says, 106. Religion should enter into, that is spirituality, we will replace the word spirituality, that will be better, universal. Spirituality should enter into every department of our life. It is the cry nowadays that our life should be molded purely on a secular basis. This means that we should build up life ignoring the soul. But man is not merely what he appears to be, a bundle of flesh, bones, blood, skin, nor a creature living and acting solely under the impulses and thoughts rising from the mind. We have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and mind, there is within man the spirit which is immortal. It is by the power of the spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. In the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory and field, as well as in temple, church and mosque, we should tune ourselves with the spirit. Divine thoughts and feelings should permeate us. Spirituality should enter into every department of life, our life. It is the cry nowadays that our life should be molded purely on a secular basis. This means that we should build up life ignoring the soul. I should be there, then only everything comes. And I means what he says, man is not merely what he appears to be, a bundle of flesh, bones, blood and skin, nor a creature living and acting solely under the impulses and thoughts rising from the mind. We have to recognize that beyond the exterior dynamics of the body and the mind, there is within us the spirit which is immortal. It is by the power of the spirit that our life is activated in its manifold expressions. In the classroom, hospital, office, marketplace, factory and the field, as well as in temple, churches and mosques, we should tune ourselves with the spirit. Divine thoughts and feelings should permeate us. Now, having heard this, if we go, we are not going to translate spirituality in workaday life. We have to do manana. We all remember, when we go to school or later in college, there is a curriculum, there is a syllabus, and there are so many subjects. There are texts. The lecturer or professor comes and takes up chapter by chapter. And then, we don't know now, previously, every day there will be some homework. The homework is to motivate us to go to the text. And then, periodically, I don't know now whether that is there, at least once in a year it is there. What do? We go for exam. Why exam? We have gone through the text, we have heard the lecturer or professor giving us the explanation, amplification, clearing the doubts, everything is okay. But then, the important point is not all these. Assimilation and absorption of those that were discussed in the text. That means manana, we say, contemplation. Because only then it becomes mine. Otherwise it is a textual knowledge. It is a, whatever we hear, it is nice to hear. If it has to become mine, I must do by myself a technique or a method by which that theme is absorbed by me, assimilated by me, and becomes a part of me. And this exam provides an opportunity to evaluate ourselves. Whether this absorption has taken place, assimilation has taken place. That is why in the exam hall there is no text, no lecturer, professor, teacher, and you don't know what question they are going to put. If you are simply to mug up and write, you will not get the mark. But if you bring it out in your own way, the persons who are doing the valuation, they will be able to see, oh, this student has absorbed, assimilated, marks are awarded. Actually, it's a wrong concept that exam is for marks. It is for our own self-evaluation. Think about the first person who conceived the exam. First standard, suppose it has come to him. There should be some method by which in the next standard, second, if he has to think about it. Otherwise, the same people will go and sit. See, think about it. The first person who conceived exam. There should be some methodology, some mechanism by which the person moves from A to B, first standard to second standard. And then he conceived the only way is the absorption assimilation level can only make him to move from stage 1 to stage 2 and stage 3. Later on we go. Similarly, when we hear all these things, there should be a constant effort on our part to assimilate and absorb the theme discussed. And the examination, what is the examination? Our daily life, where he gives the test. We hear universal love, expansion of love, and we again continue to be working within the framework of our conceptual presence. We have failed in the exam. So, everyday life is a test given to us. Daily life is a field where is the exam. And whatever we have absorbed under the banner of sadhana, spiritual discipline, it is to be tested every day, no? Nowadays, unknowingly, unwittingly, we have compartmentalized. We do bhajan, we do Ram Nam, we go to temple, we prostrate before saints, we remember them. It is not acting, honestly also. But at the same time, when it comes to my life, I am unable to bring even 1% of it. That means the absorption has not taken place. Everything goes on at the superficial level. Each bhajan, today's bhajan, no? Ramnam, many of you might be knowing, in ashram, that is the mainstay. Our master, Param Puja Papa Swami Ramdas, took to this chanting, not merely chanting, this manana was there. That is why he said, Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantram, side by side, this is very important, this is the manana aspect, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, has attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. So it was not merely chanting. Along with chanting, so he has given us a clue that you should keep on hammering. You are chanting the name of one who is within you, who is making you to chant. That is then side by side with the concentrated meditation. You can show the illustration. Next one. You see, can drops of water make a dent in the rock? Yes. Water dripping ceaselessly onto a point on a rock gradually wears a hole. Persistence and concentration on a chosen path are all that matter for spiritual progress. In our case, what happens is, why is it that we are unable to translate? Initially, we try to bring the thoughts of many approaches, many saints. Unfortunately, that becomes a practice. We don't concentrate on one particular one. If the water is good, no, it will not have any dent. Constant on the same place, So, out of various sadhanas suggested to us by so many, we should stick on to one sadhana, which is perfectly okay for us. That each one has to decide. These are all some of the ways by which we can translate spirituality in daily life. Otherwise, suppose here you don't have that experience. In our place, each one will have their own well for their water. And nowadays the borewell has come. So you dig. After 50 or 60 meters, suppose you go to another. Again, 100 meters, you go to another. You will not get water. But if you dig at the same place, after 100 or 200 or 300 or 400 meters, persistence, perseverance, unshakable faith, all these things are necessary. Finally, you will strike water. We have to evolve suiting to our taste, temperament, aptitude, inclination, a path which is called a sadhana, and then hold on to it. We should be practical also. We are watching ourselves. Everyday exam is there now. Right from the moment you get up till you retire to bed, at the family level, professional level, social level, God will put us so many tests. Tests come unawares. You cannot, just like in the examination hall, you don't know what question, you don't know what he is going to subject us to go through every day. Every day. You may be cutting vegetables normally, on that particular day you will cut your own. You are an expert, but you are doing it. So similarly, test comes unawares. Do you make a big fuss about it or take it, it's all right? Then spirituality is entering into it. So when we deal with some more clues all have given. the first and foremost thing which we feel, it can be different for others. The first sign of spirituality entering into us can be expansion of our love circle and maintaining samatva, equanimity in all circumstances. Am I expanding my love circle? This is the litmus test. Whether the quality, care and concern is being extended to as many as possible. Not merely the people who wish me, who say hello to me, who are towing my line, who are in conformity with my life, but whether those who are also not, whether they are coming into my fold, because the same spirit is there in them. I may fail, I may forget, but I should keep on demolishing the wall that has separated me from the rest of the creation. This is not only stretched to human beings. Just now we read, Papa. When we buy the car, we polish it, we every day do it. Okay. Initially we will have attachment. And later on we take it like that. But whenever we enter into the car, Hari Om. Whenever we take the brush, mentally Hari Om. Whenever we open the tap, mentally Hari Om. Like that, slowly it should enter. Now he said office, school, vehicle, which is left out. So finally we come to know whatever we see, open the eyes, everything is a form of him. He is a form of that spirit. Spirit is called in Sanskrit Atman. When the spirit is there in an individual, it is called Atman. When it is a cosmic consciousness, it is called Brahman. That's all. So it is that power which makes us to talk now. It is the power which makes everybody to see now, to hear now. Everybody feels that they are all there. Beingness. It is not an outsider. Some effort. How to bring spirituality into workaday life. Param Pujya Papa used to say, spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. Nama leads. When we recognize the fact that the world is a mere projection of ourselves, we will be able to accept everything as it is in its own place. When we recognize the fact that the world is a mere projection of ourselves, world is a mere projection of ourself, not the small I, the Atman in us, the spirit in us, we will be able to accept everything as it is in its own place without choosing one thing rather than another. We will not paste any label, good, bad, I like, dislikes. Tall order, agreed. Very difficult now. But let us keep it as an ideal. This is what spirituality. If I complain to myself that I am not, then Papa clarifies, spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. God is in the world and is acting through every one of us. God realization does not mean disappearing into some unknown realm beyond the world. True spirituality consists in our living in this world, moving in it, serving all beings, all the time being conscious of the divine within us and everywhere around us. Do we get some idea? Spirituality that cannot be applied in actual life is no spirituality. God is in the world and is acting through every one of us. God realization does not mean disappearing into some unknown realm beyond the world. True spirituality consists in our living in this world, moving in it, serving all beings, all the time being conscious of the divine within us and everywhere around us. This serving all beings, what does it mean? Anything you handle it with a touch of love, with a touch of perfection, with a touch of dedication, with a touch of gratitude. The moment you get up, you see your bed, you will not just get up and go. You will keep the pillar in its own place. Spirituality starts from there. Everything in an orderly way. Papa says, thus speaks Ramdas, he gives left and right to us. These are all clues, beautifully he has given. Ramdas does not want anyone to lead only a contemplative life. One must also serve one's fellow beings in a selfless spirit. Love thy neighbor as thyself does not mean that love should be only felt in the heart. It must be shown also in action, in the form of relieving distress and rendering. To serve man is to serve God. In Karma Yoga, work is done as worship. Then alone it gives you joy. Next one. This is for everybody, I think you have to paste it in the house. It should be done as perfectly as possible, with great care and love, never in a slipshod, clumsy, irregular, half-hearted way. The inner beauty must reveal itself in outer conduct. Swati is reminded of so many things. No, this is the general rule. In anything and everything, at home, in the office, with friends. Don't think only in the place of worship. Even in our washroom, we may do it as a discipline. No. Now we add one more dimension. It all helps me to lead a comfortable life, including the commode. When I go with an urge to rush up there, it is the one which enables us to ease ourselves, is it not? Should we not be grateful? Think. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. These are all some of the ways by which we can translate spirituality into our daily life.
When the other side, when the other person are dealing so many work life, and the other person, there's so many different people you meet, like manipulative people or dominant. How do you
Test. That's why we said, test come unawares.
No, but how do you pass the test?
Unless and until we find a common factor, this grumbling and complaint and insufficiency, all these will be there. You just imagine the person whom you love, whether it is son, daughter, father, mother, brother, so and so, sister. When they do something, do we stretch the same thing? We admonish them, we punish them, or we tell them in strong words, but at the same time love is there in the heart. So these are all the techniques God has given us. First, that's why Puja Mataji always say, this love starts from our own home, our own relations, our own friends. Then when you enter into the school, the students, the teachers. Then we enter into the office, colleagues, bosses, customers. Everywhere the norm is a touch of love, touch of perfection, touch of dedication, touch of gratitude. Everywhere. The same formula is to be extended. Whenever there is, so the test comes unawares. If everything is smooth, we will not remember him, No. He gives a test. As soon as Papa, Parampuja Papa, immediately after that, 1920 to 1922, He was passing through, he was also a grihastha, he was also a professional person. He had failure after failure after failure after failure, successive failures. We can put it as. And then he was crying, where is rest, where is peace? At that time, the Almighty has chosen, all of us have been chosen. Later on we will find out that He has sent us here with a definite assignment. We have not created our assignment. When all of us, when we were there in our mother's womb as the seed, this present me who evaluates, who says, rights and wrongs, likes and dislikes, this fellow was not there. We have no hold, we have no relevance there, no? We did not plan, do we? To become a seed in the mother's womb? No. Parents are the instrumental cause, but they were also born to their parents, so we come to know that they are not the original seed, primary seed, the first cause. And in Bhagavad Gita he says, Bijam Mam Sarvabhutanam, I am the eternal seed of everything. In 7 or 8 or 9 shlokas he brings it out. So we now at least intellectually agree, accept that God is our seed, that spirit, the common factor. So whenever our sense of individuality differs on the superficial plane with somebody and starts putting a label as irritating or some manipulative, whatever you said, that negative words, all these words He has given, but you should know that it is the same one. The intrinsic worth, the intrinsic quality, the intrinsic principle is one and the same. So when we start identifying it, our attitude will be not that we will agree to everybody, but we will not have any prejudice. Difference of opinion will be there. Prior to coming to ashram, we were working with a Jain in the management of coffee estate. He was an embodiment of all these values. On a particular occasion, somebody misunderstood him. When it was pointed out to him, both of us rushed up there. This is very important. It is not that we justify, we rushed up there, and then immediately he said like this in Malayalam, Kshamikane, pardon me. And the other man came and hugged him. He told us before 1 hour that he got highly offended, But this man went and hugged him. The other man came and hugged him. Then he said, why did I make a comment about you? Then this man said, forget about it. I want hot coffee now. And we had our coffee, discussed so many things, and when we came back, this is very important. I asked him, why did you not utter a word about what had transpired? Why we rushed up? You know what he said? Human relationship is much, much more important than our petty likes and dislikes. Suppose you justify, you have got a justification. Your mind will justify your act. His mind will justify his act. There is no bridge. One has to take the lead, Let him build the bridge, No, you have to build the bridge.
I'll call him, they will call me, and the whole thing just gets lost. The whole relationship gets lost.
So one has to take the lead, and then somebody used to ask, even then they are not looking at me, they are not talking. Don't worry, you have bridged, you have bridged the gap. To you are free. But proportionate to the sincerity, either today or tomorrow or day after, the other man will definitely think about it. We are not telling theories. We have we were also subjected to go through all these things. And we were also employed. No? We were working for 20, 30 years. But at that time, so many experiences God gave us, by which, all these are, it's not theories, it is not tall talk. It is something that can be translated into everybody's life by people like us, not people like God realized souls or spiritual preceptors, ordinary men. When once, in 1960s, when we were working with a colleague, somehow we lost the temper. And then afterwards, section head saw that, then we left him, and then we were worried, we were really tensed up. Why did we behave like this? So we went to him, to this person. He was also sitting like this. I immediately said, why did I behave? He immediately hugged me and said, forget about it. Once in a way, this is necessary. And the last one, touching. We are reliving those moments after 60 years. He said, whatever may be your behavior towards me, my attitude towards you will ever remain the same. He was God was teaching us through that person. This should be the norm. So this is the exam. He passed the exam. I failed. Whatever be the difference of opinion, whatever be the attitude of yours towards me, my attitude towards you is always the same. So what we mean is, these are not mere tall talks. And Papa used to say, many of you might have heard the other first day, the world we live in is a school, in which observation and experiences offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. So we look back our own experience. All of us can go back to our own experience. Right from the moment you started feeling you as you, So many things God has paraded before you. Either at home, or in the school, or in the college, or in your family life, or in your professional life. Even today He must be giving this through His other forms. But we have never accepted it as a school. That is the problem. The world we live in is a school in which observation and experiences offer us immense possibilities for self-improvement. Nay, the world itself is Guru or God. Everything. And when we get some problem, physical problem, we go to the doctor. Immediately, the diagnosis will be done, pathological. Similarly, we also, we have not been able to learn it, in spite of giving so many experiences. We have formed every time likes and dislikes, preferences, priorities, rights, and we have defined. We have defined our rights and wrongs, our priorities and preferences, our likes and dislikes, our preconceived notions, our cravings, our desires, our infatuations, our ambition. All this put together is called the me and mine. And that fellow is the hurdle. Why we have not been able to take this? The world we live in is a school. In spite of all of us must have gone through many, many trying moments. Normal tendency is to blame others, Either blame people or objects or situation. We have never looked into ourselves. Because our mind says, I am right. I am right, you are wrong. It has been steadily maintaining this. So these spiritual preceptors, gurus, when we go to them, they make us understand, hey, look here. It is not that you are looked down upon, you are belittled, It is not that. It is to erase your ego that you are subjected to go through all these things. Puja Swami Sachidananda Ji used to say, rubbing and scrubbing is painful, but that is needed for purification. So for my purification means to identify the common factor, the spirit in everybody. Spirit is there, then the me and mind comes and stands. I am unaware of this. So I am now trying to become like this, then separate. And then this is there, this is also there. At the moment I am not aware of this. So our spiritual discipline should enable us to shift. I think those things may not be known to here. In India, when you get something, you shift. Chaladai. Chaladai can filter. You do like that, separate it. Here everything you get from all packed one.
We are also experiencing everything here. We get our stuff from Patel brothers. We have to choose that.
We don't choose that. We
Achha.
find the
That is right, but you do you have this? Chaladai.
We have to cook ourselves, clean ourselves.
No, this also we are doing it there. This also will be there. Now when the coffee is hulled, the seed is separated from the husk. So when it is separated, it has to be separated physically also, Initially, the huller goes and breaks it, the husk is out, then it will be a mixture of husk and this thing. Then there is a process by which the husk is separated from the seed. Similarly, and seed is what we want. So similarly, the individuality is projected. We are talking because there is an individuality. So me and mine is not bad. He gave us. But the me and mine should know that it owes its origin to him. At the moment, the me and mine is the curtain. It prevents us from knowing it. So we have to do something by which it becomes transparent, like this. When you close this, it becomes opaque, you can't see that. You are there, but you can't see that. So opaque gets upgraded to translucent and then finally transparent. That is the process. So this is how we try to, when you say spirituality cannot be done, then we are having opaque. We are not aware of the common factor in everybody. That is why I distance myself from others. I separate myself from others. I hold on to my rights and wrongs. I hold on to my likes and dislikes. I may be outwardly doing all these things. Bhajans will be going on, Nama will be going on, half a dozen prostration before somebody, slogas, temple, everything. But I am intact. Even when I enter the temple, suppose somebody trespasses, I will say, why did you do that? Unknowingly, not that we. But so if spirituality has to enter into our life, God is putting us through to all these tests. He is giving us classes in the form of, Swadhyaya, Nama, Bhajan, Satsang, everything he gives. And he also gives you the test. So every time, the mind is trained to blame, Mind is trained to blame an object or a person or a situation. Instead of that, we try to look at him. Oof, it is too difficult for me to reconcile, but I know I have to reconcile. This time your test is terrible, painful. I am unable to. Please help me. He behaves like this for no fault of mine. But now I know you are there in him to behave like that. Please enable me to accept this. To erase my fixed opinions, fixed notions. There was his great grandfather he was associating with the international movement, freedom movement. Very great person. So whenever somebody wants any collection for public, we are talking about 50s, 60s. So they will try to go to a person who is acceptable to everybody. So he will go and say, Mama, you should come for this, or Swamiji, he was Swamiji then, you should come along with us. We are going to have this project. All beneficial for others only, not individual. So they will go to wealthy people who are having mills and all those things, spinning mills. As soon as this person goes with the team, that person will say, I told you, half a dozen times that you should not come with these people. So this person will say, you told me that, you are right. But these people came and told me that I should accompany them. They are also right. No prejudice, As soon as you come, suppose you not with a pleasant face, you don't look at him, you will feel offended, But here, even if there is no offending at all, he will accept, yes, he has got every right to get offended because he had told me not to come with any collection. So he will say in clear words, what you said is 100% right. I should have obeyed it. But these people came and told me that I should accompany. So he will give something. Again the story repeats. Because of his purity. These are all some of the ways which observation, Observation and experience. This was told to us by Puja Swamiji. So how to, there are, these are not coming from any scriptures. These are coming from our daily life. So these are some of the clues by which we can try to translate spiritual values in our daily life. If anybody would like to ask anything, it's already 7:55. 1 hour. No, if
I
anybody.
think very good. The theme has been we try to separate spirituality daily life.
Yeah.
These things often
Yeah.
we try to have spirituality only when we go to temples or satsangs. So here it has to be practiced.
But when you have aspirations, like you want to climb the corporate ladder, you want promotion, you're competing with your colleagues and all, and it's very hard, Swamiji,
No,
to
still there.
Me and mine. I want to. Huh? I was sharing with them yesterday one novel I read in 84, Cain and Abel. You must have heard about it, by Jeffrey Archer. Why we still remember, even after nearly 30 years, that theme. Abel was from Poland. After the World War, everything got shattered there. Somehow he got into a ship stealthily and reached the United States. And somehow he was able to hide himself from the officials. And he started, there were many nights or days when he had to spend on the street. Finally, he was somehow able to get into a hotel. And the hotel manager thought, okay, it's all right. He was given some job, cleaning or something like that. Slowly he started seeing this man was conscientious in his work, honest, upright, sincere, hardworking. So when he started noticing, he upgraded him. And later on, after a few years, he found that he is the most reliable one. So he was given responsible posts. And finally, one fine day, this man wanted to leave this hotel business. But a big establishment is there with a lot of. He selected this man, handed over the management, and later on the ownership. He is highly industrious, highly, energetic, enthusiastic. So he wanted to expand. He did well and wanted to expand his empire. So he got in touch with a bank. This is one side. When he came from Poland, no, stealthily, same time a banker had a son. In elite atmosphere, he was brought up. He had good education, and naturally he followed the footsteps of his father. He got into the bank, he became a director, he became a managing director. So this person went to him with a project report and placed before him, and what he demanded, what he wanted was a big amount, very big amount. So according to the rules of the bank, he did not have sufficient collateral security. So the request had to be turned down. He said in good words, I appreciate your everything, but see, we have got our own limitation. So we are sorry, we are unable to do it. Suddenly this man lost his temper. And he said, if I have brought up my life from nothing to this level, I also know how to remove you from the board, and one day I will sit in your chair. Maybe he got back. A lot of consultation with so many. So his chartered accountant, no, his advisor, consultant, he said we will try to get in touch with as many people as possible. And one day he telephones, somebody is prepared to give you this amount, and you now give a schedule of how will you repay and how much time you need. Your word is enough. So he gave a schedule. The other man, the lawyer, knew that this man is a man of words. He will not simply bluff. So it had a practical touch, going through, giving allowances for all limitations, and then things were moving. The amount was released. He started doing it. But this man did not forget his challenge to the banker. So he secretly, he started knowing the overall the shareholders, and he slowly started buying the share. And when he knew that he had crossed the boundary of having so much of equity shares, he will have the hold in the director board, then he became a director. The other man was the MD there. Again he kept on increasing his share, and one fine morning, when his share was more than his, he was dismissed. He was fired. And then he started teasing him, bullying him, wounding him in as many ways as possible. That man was also reacting it. On the same plane he was reacting it. Suppose there is one statement, he will have another statement. Like that it was going on. In the meantime, the daughter of this hotelier, and the son of the banker, they developed affinity, and they wanted to become life partners. Both of them knew that these people were fighting. So they asked their parents, what are we to do? Then they said, that is between us. If you feel comfortable, you can marry. So the marriage was conducted by this hotel owner, but he did not invite the banker. But the other man came and was in the last, suppose here function is going on, not in a conspicuous place, he was there to bless them. Went back. It was going on. One day the banker died. After 2 or 3 days, on the same day, as soon as it was mentioned, it was made known that the banker had died, the ex-managing director of this particular bank died, the CA telephoned to him, he was the person who gave you the money. So the other man had a shock. what all I did. I am what I am because of that person. And what did I do? Not only I drove him away, I insulted him, I slighted him in all possible ways, I wounded him, but even then he did not. So he immediately went and told the CA, why did you not tell me? He said at the time of advancing the money, he made this condition that under no circumstances you will reveal that it was I who advanced. Only after I dropped the body you should inform. That means the help, whatever you say, the aid he gave, it was unconditional. It was a great lesson for all of us. We have seen people also who maintain the same mental attitude, spirituality in daily life. At the Vyavaharic level, there could be so many differences, you may be acting, reacting, but this you are not mixing up. Even when their children came, they did not mix up. So values were there. Values are nothing but that which connects you with the rest of the creation properly. That is called values. And spirituality is nothing but values expressed. So when we start, God will give us, why we are, mysteriously, Papa used to say, the moment we commit ourselves to this life, He will mysteriously guide us through so many ways. It can be through a novel. One day when we were on our way to Chennai from ashram, from Coimbatore, there was a satsang like this. Coimbatore, you have heard, no? A place called Coimbatore in South India. So we had a satsang and we had to catch the night train to go to Chennai, and the next day we have to leave for Colombo. So as we were just closing the satsang and we wanted to have a bath, eat something and then rush to the railway station, somebody came and gave me one packet, small packet. I asked him, what is this? It's a book you will like. Oh, so many people are giving books. I kept it. Immediately after bath, we rushed to the after food, went to the station, and then when we were at the station, somebody has given, no, just opened it, and random we opened. The name of the book was Peace Pilgrim. Who had walked 25,000 miles from Mexico in the United States, 25,000 miles, to share thoughts on peace. Peace, peace. She is known as Peace Pilgrim. Just like Beloved Papa, she went on this 25,000 miles with nothing to fall back upon, excepting a few requisites like brush, paste, soap, all filled in her tunic. No belongings, no possessions, and her experiences. Very touching, practical, no tall talk, no philosophy. Whatever somebody was kind enough to jot down and put it in the form of a book, even now you cannot find it there. It is not for sale. Even not for a sale. So now coming back to our story. So when we reached Chennai, we told our friends, try to get this book. If you get 12 books. They searched everywhere, Higginbotham, wherever books are. Finally they came and said, this book is not available here. It's all right. Next day we went to Colombo. Because Papa had gone in 54, anybody goes from Ananda Ashram, a lot of devotees come. So they came, everybody brought fruits, like what you were bringing, sweets, and there was a carton also. So as soon as everybody went, I told them to open the carton because it will go bad, But this particular carton contained 12 books of this Peace Pilgrim. Why I am telling this, mysterious. We cannot say how it came, who brought it, we don't know. And then when we went back to ashram during our satsang, we used to read. And everybody who heard, they want one copy. So what to do now? So devotees coming from United States, we too gave them one copy. Can you please send some books? Then Dr. Ken was there in Kentucky. He was the first person to whom he said, okay, he sent 200 or 300 by ship. Then everybody comes, Neelam Kohli, our Deepa, everybody. I think you have also brought, people used to send whenever we want. We must have distributed more than 2,000-3,000. And when we ran out of stock, once we wrote to them, what we need this on a regular basis. So have some idea, some mechanism by which we get it. They immediately send a soft copy. You can print and do it. So how they connect us with a peace pilgrim here? We cannot say this way, that way. So that the moment we commit ourselves to walk on the path of spirituality, with all our earnestness and sincerity, God who is facilitating everything to us, God who gave us this life, God who provides everything in the form of family, profession, society, also mysteriously guides us. Rest assured, 100%, 100%, not 99. His guidance will come to us mysteriously. So many, we can bring it down. It can go on 7 days if you want. Mysterious means mysterious. We will not be able to say how and why. So today he is reminding us through all these things, get yourself committed to this. There is a lot of difference between involving and commitment, you know. Involving in activity that goes on, whatever we are doing it. But there is a commitment. So today we have to sign a commitment MOU with him. From today onwards, I will see that the spirituality is entering into my life.
There's a question.
Yeah. Yes.
Then Swami was explaining about the PowerPoint in Mother. I just want to clarify my doubt about, I heard the other talk also, family, work and society and Nama simultaneously. Today also in the PowerPoint it was said side by side. So the thought which is bothering me is
How to-
multitasking versus single pointedness. So are we suggesting?
Yeah. Absolutely right. Very pertinent. Because we started chanting only, you know. We started. To harmonize this both, it is the toughest job. So initially what we do is chanting, okay? Chanting should become a habit. And later on when it has become a habit, we try to bring in this. During the non-chanting time, pause moments, and then we make an attempt to go along with it. That means we close our eyes and a stage will come when we close our eyes and when we chant, we can simultaneously dwell on this. Oh, I am chanting the name of one who is within me and who is making me to chant. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Like that, initially it may be difficult. So later on we try to pump in this idea during non-chanting time. Number one. Another important point is, if our behavior, if our handling the mind during the non-chanting time is not in conformity with this ideal, it's the toughest job. That means whatever we handle it with love. Nothing is irrelevant, nothing is unimportant, nothing is insignificant. We try to do that, no? Anything that we handle. When we leave the chappal or shoe or socks, not like this, no? We recognize its when we do that, that is why he said, never in a slipshod, clumsy, irregular, half-hearted way. It's a wonderful guidance. So when we start doing it from the minutest to the grossest, slowly this percolates into our system, and with that background when we chant, the mind becomes totally focused on this. And then it connects itself automatically to the mysterious power. That is what is called Sakshi Bhav, witness consciousness. Over the years.
Swamiji, one question. So, if a person has these qualities, like Zoe mentioned, then do we really need the japa and meditation?
The qualities in that, do we need japa and sadhana?
You have the values, you will still make a choice.
Purpose of chanting is to remember him. If it has to drop itself, it will drop. If it has to stay itself, that is also. You may be enjoying also. You may be enjoying. To certain people we have found, Papa did not stand later. Then somebody asked him. He said the chanting entity is not there. So it is not a general principle. So you enjoy chanting also. You whatever you enjoy while chanting, when you are in a position to stretch it to everything, then there is no need, Not only in chanting. You are enjoying everything because chanting is for remembrance. You are trying to remember him right from the moment you get up in the morning till you retire to bed. So chanting also, if it comes, that also you will do it. But previously you were chanting exclusively to remember him. Now everything is to remember him. When I handle this, to remember him. When these words are coming, to remember him.
I think question probably is, can we remember without chanting? Is that,
Actually, no. I think it's somewhat similar. See, if a person has these qualities, what you mentioned, the ideal qualities, he or she has reached that level, then do we really need that chanting or nama or something? Because I don't know how many people are there in this universe.
Let us not bother about it, no. When we read, let the outcome be whatever it may be. We may be enjoying, we may not be doing it. They have reached that stage. To them it is a 24/7. To us it is 1 minute out of 24/7. That is the difference. Suppose we are spending about half an hour now. This half an hour only. To them it is 24/7. It is a sight to be seen. Or Puja Mataji, last word. Puja Mataji's room, during her, when she was in body, she will handle it everything with this bhava. And she was telling, this is also, she names that spirit or God as Papa. So she said, this is Papa, this is Papa, this is Papa, this is Papa. Nobody could understand. Her room, you can see, everything will be spick and span. Because not out of discipline, out of love for it. That means 24/7, that remembrance, which she got with 2 years of intense chanting with this background. And she got stabilized in it. So that the moment she came out of it, to her everything is a form of love. Everybody, everything, every situation is a form of love. That was expressed through her action. Those who have had the privilege of seeing her will see that. Everything. The handling. And later on, Puja Swami Sachidanandaji, who succeeded Mataji, even the way in which he takes the umbrella, he keeps the umbrella. When he switches on, when he switches off, not like this, consciously doing it with a touch of love. When he leaves his chapel, when he takes the chapel, when he wants to write, suppose we give him the writing pad and then pen, he opens the pen, and how he handles the pen, after writing how he handles the pen again, it is a sight to be seen. Every moment of his life he was expressing. Later on in 2003 he also wrote, when I take a glass of water, I think I am taking God. The glass is God, water is God, taker is God, like that. So that means we have been assured that when we try to do this, it will become a 24/7. not a compartmentalized. So these are all some of the ways by which we try to translate spirituality into daily life.
It's hard to control the mind though, because when you are in a situation, right?
Again,
No, no. No, Swamiji, like, okay, there, I think it's loud.
diagnose. The diagnosis, we have not diagnosed the problem. The problem is me and mine. So just go to the source of all sources. Papa, in one glimpses of divine vision, first if you go through that, what is religion? Try to enter, now you just try to enter into the mysterious origin of your and the world life. To know who you are in reality is the real quest. You are not Swati, Swati is a name given to you after you came to this world. You did not declare, I am Swati coming. Isn't it?
10 days after I came.
Ah. So, I'm joking. See, I am not what I assume of myself to be. So, try to know who you are in reality is the real quest. To arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline, transcend all human limitations set by the body, mind and intellect. And then, that means we have to get out of this me and mind, naming, labeling, defining, qualifying. That tendency has to be erased. So, to arrive at this truth, you have to, by a systematized process of thought and discipline, transcend all human limitations set by the body, mind, intellect, and then embarking on the realm of the spirit, this common factor. Realize your immortal, changeless, blissful nature. This constitutes spirituality. This is the first one, in that book. Fundamental, So whenever the mind comes out with any grumbling, complaint, negative thought, immediately you ask, who are you? You were not there at the time of when I was in the form of a seed. When God enabled me to develop these 200 and odd organs with which I am enjoying everything, you were not there. And you are now complaining all these things. Like that, we detach ourselves and take the me and mine into a task. Everything we owe to that power. The moment the grumbling or complaint come, negative thought come, we have been asked to immediately go to the source. I was not there. Oh, correct. Then I realized, I don't know the exact date when this me and mine started ruling over me. 1960, probably when we completed our education. Before that, it was in a subtle form, not fixed rights and wrongs and something like that. When you stepped into your career, slowly this fellow started thickening, fattening. In somebody's case, in the shortest possible time, he has become a. So finally, we will close with that prayer. Ego. Yes.
So this is not my question. It was asked by some youngster.
Hari Om.
Yeah. So what the question is, spirituality, then again, whatever you said like last 1 hour, is me and mine. Yeah. How does all this thing help the mankind? For example, we spend hours and hours, and even in ashram, like or other places also, people spend chanting, everything. And we are doing all these things in other part of the world because we have food, in a fan, we have all the luxury, then we are chanting. But on the other side, for example, within India itself, like in many places, people are fighting for one meal. And if you go to other parts of Africa, they are killing each other in the name of religion. So what is actually, we can tell the youth, especially because I have two boys. I'm asking this question because they ask this question, okay, that, okay, you do all these things, but how is that actually impacting the mankind? And also, they are asking, okay, we always say that, oh, this will remove the ego from a person, and so you also test that there's a test in the college, but are you taking the test here? Right? So, how these things translate into a verifiable data for the man?
Yeah. When you were admitted in the school or later on in the college, you went through that process, and the outcome came in the form of your skill, expertise, whatever you call it. Similarly, when we start identifying every object, every person, every situation as ordained by Him who is within us, we will be emboldened or empowered to deal with any situation. Nobody can change the world. World will be like this, ups and downs, everything will be there. But you will change. Your attitude towards it will change. Your perspective towards the world will change. You will always be at ease. Never think, the moment, before we correct ourselves, we are trying to correct the world,
No, I'm not saying that.
No, so don't worry about that. Our job is to refine ourselves. The moment that refinement comes, you need not think that ashram or comforts or these things. You just see anything that you handle, there should be a touch of it. You are trying to go to the source. You are not ignoring anything. You are not belittling anything. If that tendency comes, you can see for yourself, why are we going to these people? Why are we Mahatmas or celebrates who have, why are we identifying? They have broadened their love circle. It will have its own impact. 100% it will have its own. And you will be at ease. What is important is you as a person will be at ease.
Sorry, I'm not asking about myself.
No,
I'm
everybody.
asking about mankind.
No, mankind means one. It is not a thing, All men put together is called the mankind. So when we develop right relationship with the persons concerned, automatically you will be at ease, you will be able to share this with others.
So again, maybe very specifically, how do you actually, this chanting, how is it going to stop people saying each other in the name of religion?
So everyone will refine themselves, right? So that's like I'll be refining myself.
Yeah.
So that helps, right?
So what I'm trying
Why do you still stick to chanting?
how does chanting?
If chanting is not enthusing you, you will leave anything. You should be able to have 24/7 this idea. Chanting is one of the methods by which you are reminded.
So that is for me. I'm very selfish. What you're saying, okay, I will do it and I will try to tell others.
Need not. Never try to tell. Let it come about by ourselves. Let the refinement come by us.
Right, Swamiji, but what is our responsibility for the mankind? That is what
When you develop your right relationship with everyone, automatically you are paying back to the Creator.
I'm meeting, in my lifetime I might meet 100 people or whatever. Right? But
You will maintain the same thing. You are not meeting 100 people. You are you are trying to see God in everybody. Love in everybody.
that is about me.
That is enough.
good.
That is enough.
So we don't have to worry about the world.
Automatically it comes, It is not that we have to do something. None of them went to refine the world. When they scaled the heights, people started going to them. Any Mahatma, any celebrate, he did the best one. Suppose Sachin Tendulkar, he is the best cricketer. He did his sadhana. He brought out, he became a point of inspiration or a person of inspiration to lakhs and lakhs of people. Similarly, when we do ourselves, we don't have to do about others. Automatically it will come. The outcome will be that you will be a source of inspiration to others.
So don't you see that the cost of life, suffering increasing because of this approach? That's just my question.
Agreed.
Yeah.
It's the toughest job. It's the challenge is toughest job.
For example, in this country, maybe I want to highlight that once upon a time, people were killing each other, especially there were no law and order. Then they brought a law, right? That, for example, if you get into this house, I have every right, and this house belongs to me, I can take a gun and shoot, I can't ask any question. There will be no, because that is what the law says. Because of that law, nobody will dare to enter, because who is having nothing. But in India, the
Does not
spiritual...
crime happen here?
Huh?
Does not crime happen?
No, it doesn't happen like India.
Does it not happen?
If it happens, we'll have rebirth here. Okay? Every house will have rebirth. That clearly shows that it doesn't happen. But what I'm trying to say is, we can leave the house open. We can send our children, girls, everywhere to any place in the night, which I can't do in my own place in India. So all these things happening because somebody is getting shot, and they are sending a message here, police saying that if you do anything, there will be no questions asked. I'm going to take you to that. So what I'm trying to say is, we are all able to practice this, say this, do this, all this, because we are living in a comfort where somebody else is doing some hard work or nasty work, the so-called policing. So we are able to peacefully have this discussion. The same discussion nobody is having in Africa. Nobody is having in other part of the world where real suffering is happening. So the question from the youth, especially my children, is okay, what is that you are going to get and what is that you are actually doing directly to the mankind? Simply we are talking, because I bring them to session, say, hey, you listen, do this, and you know, like he's...
Agreed. No, practical.
So, end of the day, we have to give something to the youth. We have to give something through our culture. We have to actually lead by example, saying that, for example, the Christian missionary, they go to that place. They go, they help the poor, they show the real thing, and they say, like, this is suffering and this is how you address suffering. Where is that happening in our culture? Who is doing it? We are actually not only the Swami, religious organization, the whole Indian government and everybody, they are only focused on places where there is no suffering, where everything is nice and then we come. But on the other side, people are not going. That is the question.
No. You are not well informed. There are umpteen number of NGOs. Wait. Umpteen number of...
Verifiable for me, because I also told...
No, please hear. There are umpteen number of NGOs. Even the ashram is involved in various work. Is reaching out to many, without any publicity. We have had occasions to interact with so many people, visit so many places. It is not that simply they are talking some philosophies. Because they are actually practicing it. When we say that 24/7, that is our aim, it comes out in the form of seva. You become compassionate, you become loving, you become sensitive to the sufferings of others.
I hear that, Swamiji, but the thing is...
No, because you are not in touch with that. We are in touch with that segments. How many people are being helped, when somebody has got a spine injury, he is laid down, okay? Immediately somebody will identify. Ashram does support them monthly. We don't not only have Anand Ashram. There are many such institutions we are in touch with, NGOs who are doing yeoman service to the society. Government is also doing. Previously, we were constructing houses. Now government is helping. It is not like that. So many, to the have-nots, they are reaching it. That is why India is progressing. The poverty level, it has progressed. In Kerala, you will not find anybody. There was a time when the ashram was set up. There was no school. There was no hospital. They were fighting for food. Even in 65, I remember, 65 war time, we were all finding difficult to get food. But now, with 140 crores of people, it is totally changed. According to the government statistics itself, the 30 to 40% only is there. That means out of 140, 70 to 80 crores of people are either middle income or above. So it is not like that. Everybody is doing their best. Everybody is doing their best. Try to see it with a positive attitude. You will find so many institutions trying to do it.
I think I don't want to beat on. All I am trying to say is.
So it is spirituality in workaday life. Each one of us has to practice that. That is the message.
But for the youth, especially what they ask.
They will try to realize it when they get the opportunity to do it. Our life should be a model for them. Parents are the first, the life of the parents are the first textbook for their children. If they find, we all derive from our parents. The first lesson we learn from our parents. There won't be anything. Even if father had a difference of opinion with us, he will never tell us. He will not allow us to mix up contaminate our mind. We used to remember, we were sharing with him so many incidents. He was very particular. So the first textbook a boy reads is from his parents' life. So if we try to become as much pure as possible, that will be the source of inspiration for them. We try to see from the social angle, then we get dispirited. Personal angle, that is it. A prayer. This prayer is very, very, very thought-provoking. The ego born out of me has now become a mighty power, ruling over me relentlessly. The ego born out of me has now become a mighty power, ruling over me relentlessly, and in front of this usurper of my bosom, I am but a slave. To free myself from this great inner tyrant, I need now a mighty friend, a powerful and sympathetic friend, and who can it be except you, O my Lord? Save me, help me please, and even here, what right have I? The slave of my own passions, the non-believer all these years, to seek your help now. True, I have no face to meet thee. O Lord, I have nothing to offer thee except my own tears. I have nothing to claim for myself except the fatigue of my indulgence, the stink of my selfish acts, the sweat of my passions, the cords of my attachment. In fact, I don't deserve to be saved, yet Lord, I am tired. Beaten out completely, exhausted thoroughly, repentant fully. I surrender myself to Thee and to Thy grace. I claim a hearing, expect help from Thee. Are not Thou the ocean of Kripa, of grace, of kindness, and of love? Won't Thou, in Thy kindness, take pity on me and once more destroy the old enemy Mura in my bosom, the bundle of my own wretched vasanas? This stage will come when we think about this, just like what he shared, when we feel for others, when knowingly or unknowingly we stretch ourselves to others, then we try to find out that it is my own, the me and mine is the block. Everywhere, I am not seeing the common factor everywhere. I find only inequality, insufficiency, incompleteness, and not in conformity with the normal law. Then I become discouraged, dispirited, dejected, disappointed. So at that time, a prayer from this. I told you, mysteriously he will hear. This is what our masters have shown us. And when they, to make it more clear for the sake of others who have not known about Anandashram, when the Anandashram was set up in 1931, it was the most backward place. And unlike today, resources were not there. Everybody was fighting for existence, to make both ends meet. Under that circumstances, the ashram was set up. Still Mataji took up. A hospital was set up. A school was set up. A vocational training center was set up. Apart from that, she was building houses for the homeless. That right from day one, when Nam Seva Dhyan is the triune path, it was not merely Nama. Papa used to say in blunt words, your outer activity should be compatible with inner aspiration. That means you are stretching yourself in whatever form it is possible, a kind word, a kind act, a kind involvement, anything, something in kind you can give. Suppose nothing is there, you can at least go to them and make them know that you have a heart to help them. Compassion, love, all those. So that is how they built up this ashram. It was not, that is why Papa said, no, God, Ramdas does not want only to lead a contemplative life. Papa and Mataji have been telling this right from day one, that it should be expressive in your life. The stretching yourself from the me to we. Me to we, that is the right word. From me to me, it should be to me to we. If everybody does like that. 92 years the ashram has been teaching us. Like that so many, not only our ashram, every people. We have come in contact with so many people. And in our place, suppose there is somebody who is suffering. If the paper, the journalist, somehow he is informed, he will go take a photograph and put it in the paper. Not merely the juicy political matters. You will see in some other pages with a photo. Immediately people get touched and they immediately come to their rescue. This is how it works. We come to know of many segments because of these people. Somebody falls, a lady, for example, in Tiruvannamalai in Tamil Nadu. She came here, she was an athlete, she was an athlete. She came to States, she had an accident. From here everything is lifeless. Everything is lifeless. She is running an institution. Preeti.
Yeah. He climbed the Mount Everest, I think. Right?
I have gone there, seen there. Because she knew, especially ladies who are incapacitated, they will not be able to tell everything to everybody. Only a mother can do it. In her case, her mother is still alive. She used to tell me, after suppose the mother dies before me, because every 4 hours, 5 hours she has to be changed. Everything has to be done by others. Only this portion is lively. Otherwise everything is dead. But somehow she manipulates and handles the mobile. Very, very, very enthusiastic person. Now when we go to London, she is coming there. She had written. She wanted somebody to, somehow when we talk to somebody, it is all proving every day. She needs a particular room, she needs some chair, a particular vehicle to move. She has got a program in some university has called her. Some university has called her. So she wanted to stay. She said, Manchester. Then she wanted whether we can arrange anybody. So we thought we have no contact here. But somehow Radha Reddy made us to contact with somebody else. She immediately said, I will do all my arrangements. I will receive her, she will have all the, whatever limitations, everything will be provided. And she is going to address people there. Why I am telling, people are not compartmentalized or islands by itself. There are some are not. It is all his play, It is all his play. When he brings a disabled person, he also brings a person to give amelioration to them. If we are viewing it from the me and mine level, we might find so many. We normally, the other day we were telling, suppose you see from this distance, you will only see limited objects, limited people. And you may see some place is irritating, some is nauseating, some is disturbing. But when you go to the terrace and see, the spectrum gets widened. When you see from the hilltop, you will not see any negative at all. When you see from the aircraft, when it gets lowered, you will see only beautiful sights. That means when we raise ourselves from the present level to a little higher, little more higher, we will find everything is beautiful. And we will be able to bring it. What is that raising ourselves? Love. When the love predominates, we will not see anything. We might mention it as an immature act, or they don't know, they are ignorant. You will not blame, but at the ground level, you will start blaming. This is also there. When you raise yourself to a little more higher level, that means love. You will find it's all right. he stays like that, he's a good person. You know, we'll say that. He's slightly short-tempered, but he's a good person. He looks to be a self-centered man, not like that. You are seeing him in totality, you know. When you see a particular incident and you define that person is like that, then you are not seeing him as a whole. Nobody is basically, intrinsically, essentially bad, because God is there in him. We will realize it. Now it's a theory for us. It's a tall talk. But when we try to put all this into our life, we will slowly start raising ourselves to a higher level, higher level, higher level. And a stage will come. We have seen many people that they don't see any negativity at all. Everything is a part of this play. 8:45. I think that is over.